This is my iFixit Pro Toolkit. I bought it off of Amazon. Had it for about a year. I bought it with my own money. It wasn't sent to me. Nobody gave it to me. It's not a sponsored or whatever review. I bought it to work on various electronics, phones and servers and computers. I do a lot of work on servers. And it's really good for swapping motherboards and CPU heat sinks and PCIe screws and, you know, small electronic screws. So in the kit, there's various Phillips and, let's see, focus a little bit. There's various bits. So we have triangle type bits commonly found in like toys and whatnot. And there's a couple different sizes of those. So here we have a little bit smaller one than the other side. And here's a comparison of those two. Various Phillips bits. And these are all, the bits themselves aren't magnetic, but the tool is, the driver. So we have some torx bits and various flathead bits, slotted, flathead, whatever you want to call them. I use the slotted and the Phillips the most. Comes with two e-torx, or inverted torx, whatever you want to call them. So here's a normal torx, well, tamper-proof torx. And as you can see, the e-torx fits on there like that. So if you have an e-torx and an external or inverted torx screw, you can pull that out. So there's various tamper-proof torx. Things like batteries and some electronics use e-torx. There's also standard torx. So we have really small torx. And those torx go from T1 all the way up to TR6, and then of course you have your e-torx. You have a couple of square heads, and I'm not sure what that is. I've never used some of these bits. I've never used Allen or hex head, and then some nut drivers. The nut drivers go from 2.5 all the way up to 1/4 inch. There's also a magnetic tool in here. So both of these are magnetic. It's not magnetic on this end. It's not magnetic on this side. It's only magnetic, you know, on that side. It would be nicer if it was magnetic on both sides because we have this tool here, but as you can see, it doesn't, you know, it'll just fall right out. Comes with this flex kind of deal here. Let's focus a little bit. Comes with this flex driver. So you can kind of run that as your, let's get something that spins put in there. So you can, as you hold this, if you need to get into something, you know, at an angle. The only downside is this is not magnetic. Let's focus. Why is this not focused? The downside about this is it's not magnetic, so your tool can possibly fall out. I don't really use it that much. I haven't really found the need to. We also have a couple pairs of tweezers, spudgers, and some panel tools. So we have guitar picks and let's focus. Guitar picks. These are good for, you know, iPhone. Well, any phone screens. You know, little panels. The same thing. Same thing with this. This one's a metal one, and it's a little flexible. I haven't really used this one that much. The pliers. So the pliers are kind of inverted, so instead of holding tension on them, the tension on them is the reverse. So all you do is put something in it and it'll hold it. These are, I guess they're serviceable. They have screws there, but I assume that from the iFixit company, I guess you could get replacement tips. I really haven't seen the need for replacement tips yet. I haven't broken them or damaged them. Then you have regular kind of pointed tip tweezers, and these are sprung the opposite way of these. So these are always open, and on the inside they are smooth. There's no teeth. And these are coated. They're slightly magnetic, even though it says ESD safe. I'm not sure what this coating is, but I don't necessarily know that I would 100% trust these. Same goes for these. These say ESD safe on them too. They're sprung the opposite way, just like these are. These have small teeth on the inside. See if we can focus there. These have some small teeth, so those are good for, you know, pretty much the same thing, really. They have a blunt end, and the tips are curved in slightly. And of course, these come with plastic caps, covers to go over them. I haven't lost them yet, surprisingly. So I have some spudgers. These are also good for, you know, popping panels and stuff like that, plastic covers and whatnot. Just flip that around. And this one is good for popping off the little plugs on the little connectors on like iPhones and screens and whatnot, because it's so flexible that it flexes just enough, but it also has just enough pressure that you can pop up little cables. That may or may not be the correct way. I don't know. I don't really care. It works, so it is what it is. And then a little seal puller. Well, it's probably not a seal puller. I don't know the correct use for it, but from the automotive industry, this would be, I would use something like this as like almost like a pick. for pulling like O-rings and whatnot. I guess maybe in connectors, if not necessarily with phones or computers, but from like an automotive standpoint, if you have a cable with a rubber seal, you could use this hook to pull the seal out if you need to get into it. I'm not really sure what this is. This is just, prying tool, then kind of like an awl, but obviously it's not an awl because it's plastic. And then moving on over here, let's get a view of this. The Esd Strap. I don't really use this that much because most of the time when I have this kit, I'm in the data center and I'm already on a grounding mat. So I've never really seen the need for it. It also has a suction cup for pulling screens. I find that this one is a little on the big side to me. I had to replace a screen in an iPhone 6 Plus, I think it was, a little while back, and the aftermarket screen came with a small suction cup that was a little bit smaller than this one, and that one seemed to fit my hand a little bit better. So I really haven't used this one that much. And last but not least, we have spudgers, just for, various, let's see, do we have anything around here? So if we use like this thing here, this controller, so it would fit in the groove kind of like that, and you could use it to pry it open, so you can see like just a little bit of force. Now, this says that, let's focus, it's designed to break before the device does. I don't know how much I agree with that. I haven't put enough force on a device to either break the device or the tool, but these seem like they're pretty stout. I don't necessarily know that, if you were prying on like a phone case, I don't necessarily know that this tool is going to break before the phone does. And the same goes, they're all pretty, they're pretty stout. I guess I just don't, I personally don't see them breaking before the device does. I would kind of test breaking one of these, but I don't want to break my tools. I don't buy tools to break them. But like I said, they are fairly stout, and I don't see this tool breaking before a device does. So if you're putting force on a device and you're relying on this because it says this tool is designed to break before your device does, don't do it, because I feel like this is a bit misleading. Maybe if your case is like all metal, maybe this would probably break, but a normal phone, I just don't see this spudger breaking before the device does. So moving back to, let's focus. Moving back to the driver. The driver's not, it's not the most comfortable in the world, but it's also not the worst. I've had worse drivers in the past. It's all aluminum. It has some grip here. It's not too hard on the hands. It's not too rough to where it's gonna mar up your fingers or leave calluses on your hands. the top, just like with most precision drivers, it spins, and then you can see inside you have a magnet in there, and this will automatically, once you put that in there, it'll magnetize the bit. And the case is, of course, it's heavy duty plastic. I don't know, it's ABS. So it's ABS plastic. You can see right there, it says ABS. I don't know what the 7 means. I'm not a plastic expert. It has some metal inserts here. Let's see, are these the magnets? Yeah, so it has magnetic inserts here, or magnets on the case lid, and then just metal inserts on the case itself. When you put the lid on, it's nice and secure, doesn't fall off. The back also has a metal pad on the back, metal plate on the back, and inside the case in here, you see, I just slid this out. Inside the case is a magnet. And what that does is when you put the case on there, it holds it into the case. I don't really know how useful that is, aside from when you close the case up, the fact that it's empty, or open on the top and bottom. Now, one thing I do like about the case is I keep this in my laptop / utility bag that's goes back and forth to the data center and whatnot. The bag itself is not it's more so like a tool bag. So the top of the bag, it has 3 big compartments and the top is open. So I just slide this down in the top, and then as I need it, I can just slide this out, and it'll retain the shape. So I don't necessarily have to pull the whole kit out, and then I can just slide the kit, slide the case back in there. On the inside of the case, of course, it does have, soft foam that all the bits fit into. Now, the good thing is it holds enough tension on that, nothing falls out. And overall, I think I paid $60 for it. Like I said, I've had it for a year. I don't remember exactly what I paid for it. I can check and see once I log back onto my Amazon to see what I paid for it. But I think it was about $60. I bought it a year ago. It's served well. I haven't used all these. I've been kind of using the same guitar pick whenever I have to do something, but there's plenty here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can't remember if it was 6. I think I may have broken one. I'm not sure. Or it might have been something else. It might have been a guitar pick that came with a replacement part. But these are pretty flexible. And I don't really... you'd have to put a lot on that to break it, But this will certainly, it has a lot more give than, the device that you're working on. The guitar picks do. As opposed to these don't really have that much give. These things are pretty stout. So, like I said, where it says this tool is designed to break before your device does, I don't know about that. I feel like that might be a little bit misleading. Unless you're, prying on the bumper to your truck or something. maybe the tool will break, but I don't see it breaking before a phone screen does, or a tablet. But that's all I got. It's a good kit. It's definitely worth the $60 or whatever it was that I paid for it. It would be, I think that you can order extra things, you know, extra guitar picks and these little spudgers separately. I think you can order some of them from the company that makes the kit, you know, in case you break some, or if you want more, or, you know, if you're using these a lot, I think that these could be almost considered consumables. Not that you're consuming it, but they're just tools, kind of like shop supplies, I guess you could say, chemicals, paper towels, etc. That's it. If you have any questions, leave a comment below. I'll put a link to the tool kit, the original one that I got. I think there's a couple different toolkits, but I like this one. I carry, like I said, I carry it in my laptop bag or my utility bag that goes back and forth to the data center with me. That's it. Thanks for watching.